Hello sleepers, today I've got some major news to share with you, including the pre-order release date, which is coming very soon, and I mean soon, as well as some information about Dune's post-launch plans and business model they are using for this survival MMO game. I don't know about you, but I love when game companies are transparent with their audiences. So this extra information about their practices they're using when it comes to Dune is much appreciated. And it should give a good idea on what to expect when the game actually comes out, to help you decide if Dune is right for you or not. So Joel did a small interview with these details explaining Dune Awakening will not include any subscription services. Think like World of Warcraft that lets you play for free up to level 20, and then you need to dish out a good 10 or so euros a month to unlock more level availability and different game modes / DLCs. Or Elder Scrolls Online, where you become a member with payments and unlock a bunch of boosters and stuff like that. No premium memberships or boosters or stinky things like that within Dune Awakening. I definitely prefer my games not having these type of things in it, so that's a huge plus for me. They state that Dune will be providing regular free updates, including new content, new features, and quality of life improvements. So how will Funcom be making their moolah in Dune Awakening? The number one method will be buying the game. To play Dune Awakening, you will first have to buy the actual game on Steam. Console is coming later on. It will be PC only on launch. It's a buy-to-play model where the game can be played after a one-time purchase. Currently, its pre-order is set to $49.99, so it'll set you back a good 50 quid. However, mentioning this, it seems like there's a few options for getting the game. I don't know what pricing would be like after launch just yet, but we'll talk a bit about that when the pre-order details entail in the next section. The second method will be DLC. These are said to be optional and they will come along whenever Dune does a big major free update, which develops the storyline and adds new content and features. From experience of their previous survival game, Conan Exiles, the DLCs they provided in that were usually based around a certain theme and usually including things like armor sets, mid-tier weapons, skins for mounts and pets, a bunch of decoration items, and building skins. So I imagine we'll see the same thing here, honestly. I can already speculate house themes, DLCs, and fun stuff like that. And honestly, back in Conan, they were a much preferred way to get cool cosmetics, as it would only be a one-time payment for a cool package of items. Players much preferred the DLC packages over the later on introduced Black Lotus Bazaar, which again sells cosmetic items, like stated above, but in much smaller quantities for more money. So I'm kind of stoked to see them going back to the DLC method, as those packs were a lot more people friendly and they felt a lot better to receive, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to get that information out there for people if you weren't familiar with the previous big title game, that an item shop has been a thing in the past, as well as Battle Pass, which later on got revoked as it wasn't a successful business venture. It hasn't been said it's returning on this one yet. Perhaps that's a question for Funcom to answer for their next interview, if a cosmetic shop would be a thing in Dune Awakening. The third method of earning money will be Season Pass, which is an additional option which will include several DLCs, but Joel did stress all of the DLCs on the pass will be available to be purchased standalone. So I imagine this being a way to catch up on perhaps like the ones you've missed at a slight discount compared to buying them all outright. I do find it a bit odd though, naming it a season pass, especially if that's all it entails. Mind you, it's not the first time I've seen it. Ark Survival Evolved did a similar thing in the past with their season pass, including Genesis 1 and 2 maps. So it could just be like one of those situations. I'm hoping we get some more clarification on this one, as it presents a lot of questions in my head just hearing it outright, with not much expanded upon it. Pre-order for Dune Awakening is opening in a couple of days' time. Yes, that's right, it's really coming sooner rather than later. On March 24th, Dune Awakening will open their pre-orders up. This is coming along with a stream on their official Funcom channel on Twitch and YouTube, which will explain the context of the game and details. I will be watching alongside, so if you see me in chat, give me a wave. So far, we've received one promo art, providing the game price being $14.99, and it is the same in euros. However, today we are finding out there's going to be several options for purchasing the game. I'm assuming probably going to mean there will be some more expensive versions of the game that you can buy, which includes some sort of exclusive special shiny stuff that you can only get with pre-ordering the game at that level. I've seen it many times with game releases and pre-orders, so I'm really not surprised if I'm honest with you. At the current one revealed though, that has been revealed of the price, you will get a Desert Mouse Terrarium item with it, and that's all we know until Monday. It has also been stated that some versions of the game will get a 5-day head start when the game launches. So instead of May 20th, it will be May 15th for those who smack some more didgeridoos into their payment. They mention this being a way to test the servers before they let everybody in on May 20th. I am not too sure if I am keen on this idea, mainly because if some of your friends play on the 5-day head start and those servers get cluttered, and then a bunch of your friends bought the cheaper version and start on May 20th, it's going to put them in a bit of a weird position. Because you'd either want to start afresh with them on a fresh server, which is what I would want to do, or they'd be joining in and you're already decently geared up and ahead, but they are playing on the more cluttered up 5-day-old server, which brings a bit of a weird dynamic, honestly. If this 5-day head start is included in all pre-orders for the game, then it would be alright. But if it's not, it's going to be a bit of an odd one to navigate. Then you also have the element of those first 5 days, you are paying for worse performing servers. If the servers aren't handling the load of people, which they usually won't when you're bringing that many people on board, because it's more than you can ever test really. So you are paying more money for a rockier experience. I think I would much prefer an option of a 3 to 5-day open beta for the game to do that hardware testing period, so there's no weird dynamics when it comes to launch day. It really depends on how they lay it all out though, so I guess we get to find that out on Monday. So stay tuned with my channel and slap that subscribe button for the upcoming news video I will have for you on that. In their new blog post, they've provided updated system requirements for launch. You will need Windows 10 or 11 to run Dune. You will need 16 gigabytes of RAM. For any of the processors and graphics cards mentioned, if you're unsure that yours meets the minimum requirements, you could always put that specific model into a Google search. Let's say you put something like we do with the minimum specs for the processor, the Intel Core i5 7400 versus put your processor name here. And then search that up, and often or not there will be websites that do like a versus between the two, so you can check if yours is above it, below it, or on par with it. For the absolute minimum you need to run Dune Awakening, it is a processor of an Intel Core i5 7400 or an AMD Ryzen 3 1200. For graphics card, it is a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 or an AMD Radeon, I don't know what it is, 5600 XT. You also need a storage of 60 gigabytes of available space on an SSD card. For the recommended specs to run it decently and above, it will be a processor of a Intel Core 17 10700K or an AMD Ryzen 5 2600X. The graphics card will be a NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 or an AMD Radeon 6700 XT, with the storage space of 75GB of available space on an SSD card. They also provide a helpful image for your settings so you can decide what graphics you run the game at depending on your card. My processor can do ultra, but my graphics card will be on high. So knowing that, I will probably end up setting my settings to high. You could also try the benchmarking tool they have right now on the Steam store if you want to try that out. You can make your character and test your PC to see what it's capable of and what it can cope with. This game comes with mouse and keyboard support as well as full controller support, and they've provided some more nerdy details at the bottom of this blog post. So if you'd like to check what settings you can adjust, like graphics or key bindings, check the post link in my description down below. Remember, Monday the 24th of March, there will be a live stream at 5 PM GMT or 1 PM EST on the Funcom channels for more information and a Q&A. But if you do miss it, don't worry, I will have you covered. Just come back here and there'll be a video waiting for you when I get it out, which will be as soon as possible. Apparently there's going to be quite a few special guests as well as the Dune composer, which is really exciting. I love game music, especially seeing how it's done. So personally, I am pretty excited for it because I'm quite partial to some good tunes in my favorite games. But either way, if you enjoyed the video, slap a like on it, and thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!